Today we wake up in Andrews, North Carolina, less than 600 miles from our home in Orlando. It's taken us 2 weeks to get to this point, and because our line to here was not straight, we've traveled more than 2,300 miles. We've spent more than $500 on fuel and nearly that much on food and camping fees. In this series, we'll show you how you can travel coast to coast, cross country, on the dirt roads of the Transamerica Trail. A 7-week travel adventure of a lifetime that you yourself can do for $3,500. This is the Transamerica Trail series. All right, guys, good morning. We're in Andrews, North Carolina, and we're about ready to hit the road. Today we're going to finish up the last few miles of the North Carolina tracks of the Transamerica Trail. And then we're going to move over into the Tennessee tracks and probably camping just before the beginning of the Cohutta Loop. Now, that Cohutta Loop may sound familiar to those of you who are familiar with the Georgia Traverse. I always thought that this was part of Georgia because it's part of the Georgia Traverse, but the majority of that loop is actually in the state of Tennessee. That's the plan today. We're going to get from here, get through the first several of the Tennessee tracks, get over and hopefully be in position to do the Cohutta Loop tomorrow morning. Not seeing any indication of mouse damage or anything else. It doesn't look like the mouse has really torn up anything else other than you can kind of see here there was a ball of this lint type of, or this felt type of material. It was all balled up here yesterday where he'd been scratching it, peeling it off so he could, I'm assuming, have that for his nest. Everything else looks just fine. We'd mentioned that we had spent some time with the Dirty Bunch Jeep Club last weekend. We were with Paul and his family on Monday, stayed with them. We found this field mouse, I guess, on Tuesday, is that right? Or Tuesday? I'm not real sure, a few days after.
What day is it? Yesterday morning we found it.
Paul's telling us that he's also found a field mouse in his car. They've seen his Jeep. They've seen him 5 times now in the Jeep. He said they've unloaded it completely 2 or 3 times now, trying to see if they can get that field mouse, but they can't get him out of the Jeep. He's in there somewhere.
Now they're going to set traps.
They're going to have to trap and try to get him out that way. I don't know if we still have our guy or not. We're just going to have to keep looking and seeing if we find any other traces. No dropping so far, which I'm hoping means that we kind of scared him off before he really set up shop. That's kind of what we're hoping for. But who knows? I mean, if we've got a field mouse living inside the Jeep, that's a problem. We got to get that taken care of real quick, like, and in a hurry. All right, so we went to get in the glove box this morning and we're finding shredded napkins. Pulled the glove box down to try to see up in here, and there's tissues and stuff. That means the rat was up in here. Hopefully he has been evicted. We're not seeing any other signs. I don't see that he's been chewing on any wiring, at least so far. But we're hoping that he's gone. Hopefully he's not still hanging out. Hopefully he was just around that one night and we scared him off. All right, so it looks like we've got another casualty. Found a Reese's peanut butter cup that we didn't finish yesterday, but it looks like he was eating on it. Don't know if that was last night or what, but that makes us think that maybe we've still got him and he's inside the vehicle now. So we can't stop where we are and unload the entire Jeep. Hoping that when we get to camp, we'll get there early enough tonight that we can try to get down in there and see what's going on and see if we can maybe find him inside the Jeep. I don't know. Hopefully he's gone, but we're finding little remnants. All right, guys, so we're back on the trail this morning. We're on North Carolina 12. These are the last little bit of North Carolina tracks. Hopefully we'll get those knocked out in short order this morning. But interesting thing about the tap map, if you look at it, 12, 13, and 14, North Carolina tracks 12, 13, and 14 overlap with Tennessee tracks 1, 2, and 3. So if you look at the map, you can see both blue and orange tracks here. That's because you're looking at North Carolina 12 and Tennessee 1. They're overlapping in this section of the map. Don't know what that's about. We're hoping that we're going to get a chance to see Sam here in a few days, the guy that created the Transamerica Trail. Maybe we can ask him about that. But when you're doing this section of the TAT, you just kind of have to be mindful that that's what's going on. You're not looking at it wrong. It's not anything on your end. You've just got that overlapping. And then when you're counting up your total miles, you're either going to have to not count North Carolina 12, 13, 14, or not count Tennessee 1, 2, or 3, so that you don't double up the miles that you're counting, if that makes sense.
Also, I think it's important to note, when you get on this particular track, about midway into this track, you're following the trail and you turn into what really feels like you're pulling into somebody's driveway.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it legit felt like I was driving up somebody's driveway. There's cars parked right there on the road. It's a small, narrow road. Mm-hmm. There's piles of wood everywhere where they've been chopping up lumber and stuff. So it really feels like you're in somebody's yard. But just keep going. Trust the map.
Yeah.
And you'll get past it, and you'll be fine.
Evidently, that guy's property is on both sides of that little road, and that road is no wider than a standard driveway. The trail has been so slow that I swear I could run it faster than what we're doing. Are you going to run, or are you going to... No, maybe you should ride. Let's put you back. Oh, that's probably faster than a boomer dog can run.
Better that he ran downhill instead of uphill, right? I did have to brake to keep from hitting him, but I was letting Lando stretch his legs. How do you feel, Lando?
Are you looking out the window? I am out of shape.
I don't know. I like your shape.
Oh well. If nothing else, we got to stretch the legs, right?
And we all got to, laugh and encourage him on. Go, David, go. Yesterday was freaking amazing. I don't even remember what track we were on.
It was at Catalucci, right?
9 or 10 or something like that. I don't know. And just the most random waterfalls. I guess because of the fact that they had so much rain for the prior few days before. So it made the ones that are probably more insignificant along the route more significant along the route because of the rain and stuff.
Yeah.
So they're not named as far as we know, from the map. But just driving down the trail and just come across this awesome waterfall setting, it's like, you got to hit the brake and back up, and oh my God, I can't believe I'm just seeing this, And it's right here, and I didn't have to hike 400 miles to get to it,
They were everywhere. It's like every time we turned another corner, there was another one.
And the river running along the trail is just mind-boggling. I mean, I could just sit there and watch that all day, and I can't tell you how many times I wanted to just stop the Jeep, pull over, take off my shoes, and go out there and walk around in the river like I was a 5-year-old little kid. So that's probably my favorite part was that couple of sections that we went through yesterday.
All right, right, so we just finished up North Carolina 12. Started on to North Carolina 13, but we're still on Tennessee 1. We're that much closer to just being clear into the Tennessee section. But wait, once you're into the Tennessee section, it immediately turns south and you go into Georgia. I don't know. This trail, whew, we're on Tennessee 3, and this one just got ugly. Tiffany's a pro. Like a boss. Hey Boomer, what drink can be both bitter and sweet? Reality. All right, so we're on to Tennessee Trail number 3. Just a few miles south of Tellico Plains. The Transamerica Trail comes off the paved road and back onto the gravel. And oh boy, does it get rough real fast. We just came through a section, and where we were coming up, there was a Volvo coming down with very low clearance. They scraped like crazy all the way down that. Tiffany's taken on significantly much worse than that, so she came up like a boss. Right on through it like it's nothing, and then we came up and found another spot very similar. So when you start this trail, there's a sign that says rough road.
It's not kidding.
We thought it might just be that there was a really rough section right after the sign, but evidently it's just going to be this road. That's just the way the day has gone. We're not yet to 100 miles. We've been averaging 15 miles an hour, so it's been kind of a grind today. Very slow, just moving along. It's a very beautiful ride, so we're still enjoying it, but we had really hoped to be about 50 miles down the road further than what we currently are right now. Just gonna have some days like that. Just roll with it.
Literally.
Free tire cleaning. You know, we were talking that we hadn't really seen any water crossings, and then here we've had 3 just back to back, like, yeah, 3 within the last 3 minutes. At this rate, we're going to get 1 a minute. We're going to be soaking wet by the time we get to camp. Guys, we've moved into Tennessee track number 5. Again, averaging 15 miles an hour for the day. They've been just slow go. We've now moved into the Cherokee National Forest. That means that we're less than 50 miles from the beginning of the Cohutta Loop. Now, if you're not familiar with the Cohutta Loop, it's a very popular part of another trail that we've done called the Georgia Traverse. You can look that up and see, but the Cohutta Loop and the Big Frog Loop are a very popular section of that, and I think that that's primarily because it's one of the more challenging parts of the Georgia Traverse. It is a rough road. It's not a quick, easy, smooth, blow-through type of trail. It takes you all of between 6 and 8 hours to do that loop, depending on how much pain you're willing to endure and how much damage you're willing to do to your vehicle. Once you get on that loop, you're on it for a solid 6 hours, maybe longer. So we are definitely going to air down because it beat the snot out of us last time we were on it just a few months ago in February. So that's the plan. get as close to the Cohutta Loop as we can tonight. Find us a campsite, get settled in, get some good sleep, and then hit that tomorrow while we're fresh. Yeah, we've gotten into some rough stuff here. This is very much in line with what we'd seen at the Cohutta Loop before. I think that this is probably just a short section, though. We took a left off of the road that we were on. Looks like we're going to go through a rough patch here, but hopefully this will be over soon. Well, I have to say that we are surprised by this NC5 track. 10 miles into it, it goes from, what it's been all day, a slow go, 15 miles an hour. And while we thought that was kind of a rough day, once you get about 10 miles into that NC5 track, it becomes much more like the Cohutta Loop stuff we've been talking about. So, averaging 7 miles an hour, constantly between 5 to 10 miles an hour.
Oh, I just now reached 10, and that's because I'm on a flat, smooth spot for 10 feet.
10 miles an hour! Yeah,
I'm
this is
getting my
rough.
ass handed to me on this trail for sure.
Somewhere back there I lost my liver. I'm not real sure. Everything in the car has been completely reorganized for us, so no telling what's going to happen when we open the doors. And so it's just rough. And it's been that way now for half an hour, 45 minutes. Hopefully we get out of this rough patch and get back to the 15 miles an hour that we were complaining about before. Even better if we could do better than that, but we'll see what's coming. Yeah, so we have a seersucker, a sea sucker that we use to hold the antenna in place. It's a suction cup. It just can't deal with this tack, so we'll take it off, we'll fix it, put it back on later. Guys, well, we are finished with North Carolina Trail number 5, and thank God, good riddance to that one. That is the most difficult track we've seen to date. We averaged like 6.5 miles an hour through that section, and that only because the first half was not as difficult as the second half. So just know that when you get to Tennessee Track 5, you're not going to make good time on this, at least not in a Jeep. And if you're on a bike, it's a different story.
You will get your ass handed to you.
A bleep handed to you right there. Yeah, so now we're on to Tennessee 6.
It's not starting out so great.
We're still, this is us at 9 miles an hour. Bouncing, rocking, and rolling. But we're moving forward. Just looking like this section's not going to be any faster than the last, though. There he goes. That is a freaking field mouse. But that is tiny in comparison to what we saw in our engine compartment. That is tiny in comparison. So we just saw another bear in the road. This is a black bear. Use on the see if we can find him. It's too thick. Don't have the right angle. Here, bear. Think? So as we came around the corner, this bear comes running down the side of the hill and out into the road. At first I thought it was a big black dog.
I thought it was a panther.
He was a decent size.
Jaguars are the ones that are black, huh?
He got out of the way pretty quick and down into this brush, which is really thick, and it's really steep here off the side of the road. So there was just no way to get a good shot of him. Holy crap, guys. Holy crap, it's blacktop. It's actual road again.
We're on the road again.
Oh my goodness. No telling how long that's gonna last, but we've got real road again. Today we covered 171 miles and made it from Andrews, North Carolina to our campsite at the Tumbling Creek Campground on the northeast side of the Cohutta Loop. All of the designated sites were taken when we arrived, so we quickly set up a makeshift place to camp and hit the hay, knowing that tomorrow was going to be a long and physically challenging day. Next time, the Transamerica Trail works its way through the Big Frog Wilderness and the Cohutta Loop. Please join us as we face the most challenging trails of the eastern half of this trip. The Best Life Adventure Channel's Transamerica Trail series is brought to you by Extreme Jeeps and Trucks in Orlando, Florida, and by RCI Jeep and 4x4 in Melbourne, Florida.